Welcome in to NFL Daily by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. On today's show, we have the latest NFL news and rumors, those involving Lamar Jackson, Sean Payton, as well as Russell Wilson and Tom Brady. We will get to all of that in just a few moments from right now. Before we do, I want you guys to weigh in the comments section. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl? The NFL divisional round is this weekend with several teams still remaining. Who is ultimately going to be hoisting the Lombardi Trophy when it's all said and done? Let me know in the comment section. We'll get started with today's show. We begin with Lamar Jackson. Will he stay or will he go? That is the million-dollar question surrounding the Baltimore Ravens quarterback. And there are a few options on the table potentially for Lamar Jackson. They include the franchise tag. It also could be a franchise tag and trade. Highly unlikely that he is just a free agent and walks without the Ravens getting anything out of it. And, of course, they could give him a long-term extension. John Harbaugh made the move to move on from Greg Roman as offensive coordinator, and he was asked about the future of the offense and also of Lamar Jackson, and he said that they are going to give Lamar Jackson input on who their next OC is, and also was very confident about Lamar staying in Baltimore, stating this: asked about the odds of Lamar coming back to the Ravens next year, 100%, 200%. There's no question about it. Lamar Jackson is our quarterback. He's been our quarterback. Everything that we've done in terms of building our offense and building our team, how we think in terms of putting people around him, is based on this incredible young man, his talent, his ability, and his competitiveness. And look, I understand what John Harbaugh is saying. That's all the right things to be said. But until there's a deal actually in place, the rumors and all of this are going to continue. We heard from Pete Carroll say the same thing about Russell Wilson last year, and ultimately he was traded there at the beginning of the free agent period. So with that, we want to kind of go over the latest Lamar Jackson destinations of where he could likely be in 2023, and we're going to rank these 4 through 1. Beginning at number 4 is the Atlanta Falcons, and they do have some trade assets they could potentially give up to make this work, including a young quarterback in Desmond Ridder, who could be a replacement for Lamar Jackson in a trade scenario with the Ravens. Number 3 is the New York Jets. There's already been reports that the New York Jets are already looking to make a splash and try to go after Lamar Jackson should the opportunity present itself, and they also have draft capital that they didn't necessarily have last year to be able to make a move. Number 2 is the Las Vegas Raiders. We know that the Raiders are going to have a new quarterback next year, that Derek Carr is not coming back. And with pressure on Josh McDaniels, there's probably not time for him to develop a young quarterback. Would probably going to go with a veteran of some sorts. Lamar would be very, very high on that list. But ultimately, I think the number 1 destination for Lamar Jackson is back in Baltimore with the Ravens. If you had to put a gun to my head right now and say, where is Lamar Jackson going to play in 2023, I would say the Baltimore Ravens. He's too valuable, too important for this Ravens team. I think that although they have been through some difficult times of sorts as of late, that it hasn't always been happy between these two, I think eventually both these two will realize they are better together than apart, and Lamar Jackson will be back in a Ravens uniform with a new OC of his liking in 2023. What say you? Will Lamar Jackson return to the Ravens next season? If you believe he will, type Y for yes. If not, type in for no. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it. Let me know in the comments section if you think Lamar Jackson is back. Y for yes, in for no. Let's head to Denver now as the coaching search continues to replace Nathaniel Hackett. And a report from Fox Sports' Colin Cowherd came out this week that Denver Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson has personally reached out to Sean Payton and is trying to recruit him to be the next head coach of the Denver Broncos. Here's what Cowherd said. Russell Wilson has contacted Sean Payton, legally, by the way, through channels. He wants Sean Payton. He needs fixing. He knows he needs fixing. So, interesting. Some recruitment action from Russell Wilson. And What's interesting to me when you try to pinpoint of coaches and what they've done and the backgrounds that they've worked with, and Sean Payton, of course, worked with the Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, Drew Brees, and there's similarities between Russell Wilson and Drew Brees. Russell Wilson's been compared to Drew Brees his entire career when it comes to the lack of size and still playing the way he does. So Sean Payton has developed a Hall of Famer like that that was similar to Russell Wilson in that sense. And also, here's one thing, too, to think about. Remember when Drew Brees came to New Orleans, it was after the Chargers had given up on him. He had an up-and-down tenure with the Chargers in San Diego and then revitalized his career under Sean Payton there in New Orleans. Maybe we could see Sean Payton be the guy to get something out of Russell Wilson. If anyone can fix Russell Wilson, it would be Sean Payton. And the jury's still out, by the way, as far as if Russell Wilson is fixable. If Sean Payton can't fix Russell Wilson, then nobody can. Let's put it simply that way. The best shot of revitalizing Russell Wilson's career and getting him back on track would be with Sean Payton. To me, that could be a marriage that potentially could work, all depending if Russell Wilson still got it or not. We would find out based on working with a future Hall of Fame coach in Sean Payton as opposed to what he was dealt with this year with Nathaniel Hackett. You look at the numbers of Russell Wilson in his NFL career, and it wasn't too long ago this guy was throwing for 40 touchdowns and 13 picks and a near 69 nice completion percentage. This past year, the worst season of his career with around 61% completion percentage, 11 interceptions, and Russell Wilson barely had more touchdowns than bathrooms in his house with 16 and 3,500 yards. So, what do you think? True or false? Sean Payton will be the next Denver Broncos head coach. We know the Broncos can pay a lot of money. There are reports that Sean Payton wants anywhere between $20 to $25 million. Money's not an issue for this Broncos franchise. What do you think? Sean Payton, the next Denver Broncos head coach? T for true, F for false. Let us know in the comments section if you think Sean Payton is the man for the Denver Broncos. Today's show is presented by BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code NFL Daily, you will get a 125% deposit bonus. You can bet on this weekend's NFL action, college basketball, the NBA. Latest odds for the Super Bowl heading into this weekend. The Kansas City Chiefs, the odds-on favorites to win it all at plus 325. They'll take on the Jags. You got the Bills at plus 375. They got a big game coming up against the Bengals. The Eagles at plus 500, the one seed in the NFC, set to take on the New York Giants. And then there's the Niners sitting there as well. They're at plus 400 with a really good game coming up against the Dallas Cowboys. Bengals at plus 750. Get your bets in now. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code NFL Daily to start betting today. And one final note before we go. Year 24 for TB12. Is that going to happen? Well, according to the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero, he says that Tom Brady is more open to a return now than he was at this time last year. Here's what Pelissero said on the Rich Eisen Show. People close to Brady for the last 2 months have said all his options are on the table. He is showing that he seems more open to coming back and playing another year than he did a year ago at this time when he retired and unretired. So, that's interesting. And I'll say this much. I don't know what the future necessarily holds for Tom Brady when it comes to it, when it's all said and done. The one thing that I feel pretty good about is that Tom Brady is not coming back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's a number of teams that would be interested in Tom Brady. We already know he's got a job lined up after football with Fox Sports to be their lead analyst that's going to pay him $37 million. But at the end of the day, Tampa's in full-on rebuild mode. They're about to lose a lot of pieces. In Tom Brady's case, it just doesn't make any sense to come back to Tampa. Let me go through my top destinations for Tom Brady this offseason. The Niners are number 4 on my list. And I think for Tom personally, they would be higher. But when you look at the way Brock Purdy's played, Trey Lance, of course, is still under contract as well. I don't know if the Niners would have the same interest that Tom Brady would have in them necessarily, especially if Brock Purdy can end up taking the Niners to the NFC Championship game. Tennessee Titans, there's some familiarity with him and Mike Vrabel, right? Played together with the New England Patriots. Vrabel's done a heck of a job. They seem to be out on Ryan Tannehill. Nashville is one of my favorite cities in America. Tom Brady in Tennessee could be a very interesting fit. Number 2, the Las Vegas Raiders. We talked about them with Lamar Jackson and their interest in Lamar potentially. And we know about the Josh McDaniels connection with Tom Brady and, and Josh with what they were together in New England. They won Super Bowls together, so you already got that. Maybe Gronk comes with him potentially to Vegas as well. But for me, the number one destination might surprise you. I still think it's Fox Sports. I think that if you were to say where I think Tom Brady, what he most likely ends up doing, I think he more than likely hangs it up. $37 million is waiting on him to commentate on football games. And he's 46 years old. He already thought about retirement before. I think he's going to take his time and really think about it. But I do think that job at Fox Sports, you don't negotiate that deal if you weren't already thinking about retirement. I think we've seen the last of Tom Brady in the National Football League. Where do you think Tom Brady will play next season? Let me know in the comments section. Or not play next season. Will he be at Fox? Will he be playing for another team in the NFL? Let me know where you think Tom Brady ends up in 2023. Don't miss out on the latest news and rumors across the NFL. We also have the draft, free agency, and more. It's all covered right here on Chat Sports. Subscribe now. You'll be glad you did. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. We'll see you next time right here on NFL Daily.